Right now, we're going to be talking about Gregory and Joan. Now, last week we had an opportunity to go down to Gregory's house. Gregory lives with his mama and works downtown at a bakery. He doesn't have a pot to piss in, nor a window to throw it out of. And if there was ever a picture for that, it would be Gregory. Gregory last week was sitting down with his mother when his mother told him that, hey, look, let me tell you something. You're going to have this woman in here from Uganda. I don't know how wild she is, all right? But I don't want to be able to hear no noise coming from your room. Now, mind you, this is a grown man, okay? He's older than she is. He goes to Uganda on a prepaid trip, okay? And he meets her. This woman has a lot going for her. She has her own nonprofit organization. She does a lot of work in Uganda, and she is absolutely well off and does not need this guy, right? Anyway, we like his personality, or at least we thought we liked his personality. I didn't. Y'all let me know downtown in the chat. I am starting not to like him at all. But anyway, so last week he sat down with his mother and she asked if the two of them would consider sleeping in separate rooms. And so he's like, Mom, I don't know about that. She said, I don't want to hear when y'all go to first base, second base, or third base. I don't want to hear anything going on in the household. And so, because he doesn't have any savings, he really does not make a lot of money. He is not in a position where he can argue back with his mother. He does know that Joan has a lot going for her. He had told one of the neighbors when he was doing fixing her dishwasher that this is just not some poor black African woman that is coming over here. This is a woman who, has some credentials and, basically has a life and does not have to be here. She is here only for love. But we know that sometimes, okay, shows can try to show things in a different light. But guess what? It is what it is until it's not what it's not. So we're just going to overlook that for right now, okay? But I'll save that commentary for another couple. Anyway, I digress. So, he is now going to the airport to pick her up. Of course, he is a baker by heart and by trade, child. So he takes a loaf of bread and he writes Joan's name on the bread. And he said instead of holding up a sign, he's going to give her a piece of bread. What the she going to do with that bread? What can she do with that bread? Like what? So of course he gets to the airport and everything, and he sees her walking down, and he is giddy and happy and all of this, but yet and still he, has this secret, right? This big bombshell that he's going to drop on her. And so he gives her the bread and everything. She walks up on him, she kisses him, and she is just as happy to see him. And she talks about, her life in Uganda and that, she has sacrificed a lot to be with this. Okay. So we're like, okay, wow, Joan, honey, you about to be shocked. In the meantime, in the between time, before he even got there, his mother had asked him, again, whether or not he was considering them sleeping in separate rooms. And he doesn't think that that's fair. But because he doesn't have a pot to in and he doesn't have a window to throw it out of, he has to abide by his mother's rules. So of course the two of them get in the car. She's excited yet afraid and apprehensive and excuse me about all of that, right? And so we understand she's moving from one country and coming to another country. And so he slickly sits in the car and tells her that his mother, has an issue with them sleeping in the same bed together. And so she's like, what? He said, yeah, my mom and I was having this conversation. My mom doesn't want to hear anything, I love making and X, Y, and Z. And she was horrified. And she was like, you talk to your mother about intimate things?